Why, hello and welcome back to all of my friends, to all of my fans, and to each and every one of my fellow FTFLers, to the longest running weekly episodic fantasy football show out there. That's right, boys and girls, it is time once again for the FTFL weekly update. And of course, as always, I am not just the host of this award-winning show. Nope. I am not just the two-time league champ Hulkamaniacs. No, that's not who I am. I am also that cold breeze that blows in through an open window as we rush in with the wind to the month of November. The month of November, where playoffs are made and playoffs are lost, where we find ourselves, where we often are, with everybody bunched up, vying for position. I am that wind of change. Don't get cute with that. That's right, boys and girls. It is I, Brett Sieber. Welcome back to the show. This week was week 3 of the North versus the South, and wouldn't you know it, John was the only one who showed up for the North. Now, that would be really the first time John has showed up for anything in a long time. Therefore, the South takes a 2-1 lead in the head-to-head division matchups. Now, I think that might be it for the year. I'm pretty certain we don't do more than that. Oh, jeez. It's got to be that jersey that's hanging around there. Should have gotten completely rid of it. Anyways, he showed up. The rest of the North did not. The South won. We'll talk all about those games. And again, I mentioned it briefly with the winds of November blowing in. Every team except for one team finds itself within 2 games of each other with 5 games to go. An absolute dogfight. If the playoffs were today, 5 teams would be in, 3 teams at 4 and 5 would be vying for that final spot. And of course, there is a team who actually, at the moment, is on pace to tie Jeff Marxer's lowly record. More on him later. We do, I should say though, also later, we do have some more fan mail. It better not be something else from Stupid Face Jr. as far as I see it. Last week, the jersey being sent here was really something else. But we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, let's get to the game. Z Mixing Cocktails coming in at 6-2, taking on Make America Great Again at 5-3. Now, last week, the teams in the North, like mine, benefited from Eric beating Andy. Stayed within 2 games. This week, there was a chance Andy to extend his lead again. But nah. Sid, 88, Andy, 87. If you're Sid, all Brock Bowers did was have the 5th best week by a tight end in league history. 32 points. Good God, man. What a performance for Brock Bowers. Almost a buzzsaw-worthy performance. Danny Dimes had 18 points. Dicker the kicker chipped in 11th. Sid, another week, another individual going on the IR. Tucker, the best tight end in all the football craft. We're going to miss you, buddy. Get well soon. We'll see you next year. It's delicious. If you're Andy, the almost but not quite didn't, there was not that there wasn't options. We'll talk about Devontae Adams, by the way, quietly the 6th best receiver in all of the league. Now, granted, 3 touchdowns one week, 2 touchdowns the next week. That will definitely help. 18.5 for him. Josh Jacobs, 14. Dak Prescott, 12 points, which was more than he had the week prior, but still a low week for Dak. DJ Moore on the bench, 18 points. Now, I probably wouldn't have been starting DJ Moore either. However, he had himself a week. He could have helped Andy win. Bo Nix, the guy that I jettisoned after I put all my faith in Stupid Face Jr., which, of course, is why I put myself on the list. I had 18 points. He also would have helped Andy win. Instead, Andy loses, falls to 6-3. Sid rises to 6-3. Next up, the Pack Attack coming in at 5-3, taking on, well, me, the Hulkamaniacs, at 4-4. I do, in the history, in the annals, not anals, but the annals of the league, I have a winning record against Eric. I didn't help my cause this week. 89 for Eric, 81.5 for me. If you're Eric, Perrick's keepers continue to roll. 24.5 for CMC, 10.5 for St. Brown, 35 together. The bum chipped in 22. Javante Williams, 4.5 points, tied for the lowest output of the season. Didn't matter. Eric still gets the win for me. Puka Nacua, 19.5, got banged up ribs. He has been cleared. He will be playing this week, thank God. Eddie Pinheiro, 12 points. Michael Pittman and Trey McBride, both 10.5. Oddly enough, Trey McBride scores another touchdown in what was Kyler Murray, again, missing the game. And what happened this week? They decided to put Kyler Stupid Face Jr. Murray on the injury list. He's got a foot. He needs it to run around. I say this is all a mask. This is all a way for them to kind of lift up the rug, sweep the dust and dirt and grime that is Stupid Face Jr. right on underneath, drop it down, and pretend it never happened. I hope, because Trey McBride has been playing way better without him. Jordan Love, 4 points. Jordan Gibbs, 1.5 points. The lowest point total of Jahmyr Gibbs' career. 1.5. Oh, gosh-ish. Both those guys played just average, and I win this week. It wasn't to be. I fall to 4-5. Thankfully, though, only still 2 games out of first. All right, last game before we get to the break with the fan mail. I may suck at fantasy football, but at least I got my keepers in, coming in at 4-4, taking on, looking to give the business to my hotspot at 3-5. My hotspot really gave I may suck at fantasy football, but at least I got my keepers in a run for his money. I mean, my hotspot put up a hell of a fight. My hotspot gave I may suck at fantasy football, but at least I got my keepers in a weekend he will never forget. 94.5 points came blowing out of my hotspot. However, 109 points came in for I may suck at fantasy football, but at least I got my keepers in. Jeff, the second highest point total of the week, would have beat everybody else except for the team he was playing. Therefore, Jeff loses his 4th in a row. 109 for Matt, 94.5 for Jeff. If you're Matt, Jared Goff, welcome back from the bye week, 24 points. Sam Laporta, welcome back to being a productive tight end again, 19 points. Warren had 13 points. Kyron Williams and JSN Jackson Smith Najigba had 12. KW the third, 5 points. KC's defense, 3 points. Only 2 people in singles. I'm still thinking, Tyler Warren. That's what it was. The running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or maybe even the Miami Dolphins. One of those 2 guys. It was a Warren. He had 13 points. If you're Jeff, welcome back. Lamar Jackson, 28 points on Thursday Night Football. Wasn't enough to get it done. Austin Genti, 12.5. Rashee Rice, Seattle's defense, both had 12. Rome Odunze. 0 points. Only 3 targets in a team where in a game where his team offensively notched 47 points. And I think some of those were defensive, but still, Rome Odunze, how that would have been different had he showed. Well, then again, Jeff lost by, if my Browerville math is correct, 14.5 points. But still, worth noting. Jeff falls to 3-6. Matt rises to 5-4, and it is now time for the fan mail. All right, so I got this letter this week here, printed it out. All right, it says, Dear 3-time champ, or does it say 3-inch champ? I'm going to go with 3-time champ. Now, the problem with this, of course, is 3-inch, Jesus. I've only won twice. So either this is someone being funny or someone commenting on my size, neither of which I find humorous at all. I am writing you as a longtime watcher and fan. Like that. Yes, it was me that sent you the authentic game-worn autographed jersey. So now we know where the Kyler Stupid Face Jr. Murray jersey came from. Hopefully there's a return address on the bottom so I can return my own mail to you, sir. Now, one may think I would be offended and mad at the comments of you running your mouth of how horrible of a person I am, but I like me. Plus, it gives me great publicity with this being the longest running weekly episodic weekly update. Everyone gets to hear my name. I haven't read your name yet. And lastly, let's face it, I consider us like a middle school budding romance. The boy that keeps picking and picking and picking on that one girl. Why is he doing that? Because he actually likes her, so I feel that's what we have going on here. I feel you have misread the situation. Hell, you like to talk about me so much, you even have your buddy Mr. Fox talking about me on the Electric Minnow YouTube channel. By the way, another great channel. Like and subscribe, please. So the jersey was sent for you to hang in the fish house, which clearly you can tell it is not hanging here right now. So you are reminded every week about how great of friends we are. Enjoy, your buddy, Kyler. Okay, you little punk, you smurf, you stain on my underwear. Although that didn't sound right either. Let me tell you something, pal. The fact that maybe you're not going to play for the rest of the season might be the saving grace. Otherwise, I'd continue to talk about you. I'm sure I'll still find ways to interject about how angry you make me and how many people's lives you've ruined. And now sending me mail on top of the jersey. You know what? I will hang up the jersey. I will hang up the jersey if I can find a dog turd bag big enough to jam it into. You know what? Challenge accepted. Oh, wait, hold on. There's a... This just was added. This is breaking news. It says, wait, we have a picture of a couple of men that were being arrested outside. Let's just go to the picture. Let's go to the picture outside of a Home Depot in Eagan. Oh, God. No, wait, it's tough to, I don't know if it's the lighting, but if this is though, first Stupid Face Jr., and now potentially the search for Linkowitz on, I don't know, indefinite hold. There's not enough liquid in this thermos. All right, you know what? Fine. Let's just go ahead and finish this out. Team Dickweed at 4. Oh, good. You know, what a great transition that was. John's team. John, who we haven't heard from. John, who we don't know if exists. John, who we still hope is alive. Coming in at 4-4, taking on the Radioactive Monkeys at 4-4. And this was a big one for Adam Saltmarsh. Comes in riding a 3-game winning streak. And a winning streak no more in the lowest scoring game of the week, 66.5 points to 61. John beats Adam. If you're John, Jackson Dart, 22 points. Will Reichert, 11, and 4 players at 4 or under. If you're salty, Drake Mays, 16. Quentin Johnston, 10 points. And 3 teams at 3 points, 3 players at 3 points or under. By the way, this was the lowest winning score of a week since week 4 in 2023, when lo and behold, John beat Andy 65.5 points to 40. Sorry, John. John moves to 5-4, second place in the division. I mean, last year we were trying to make the FTFL great again. This year we're just trying to learn of his whereabouts, or even if he's still alive. Meanwhile, the bot that's running John's team seems to be doing so, or just getting lucky. All right, last game of the week, the Valhalla Vandals coming in at 3-5, taking on Team Linkowitz at 2-6. We should just rename this one Team Stinkowitz. 77.5 points for Peter, 65.5 points for Adam Swart. If you're Peter, Justin Herbert, 24 points. Kyle Manganani, the running back from Chicago, because they're down to their 18th string, 13.5 points. The dude looks kind of legit. We'll see. Those were the only two in double digits. He's, by the way, only 2 games behind the man who took his keepers, Eric. Oddly enough, the man with no keepers to start the season is 2 games out of first in his division. If you're Swart, Kaimi Fairburn, that's right, your kicker was your lead scorer at 19 points. Mark Andrews had 13 points. 6 players were 6 or under. This is the 3rd loss in a row. And I feel like we should probably, in this moment, update the Peter meter. So let me go ahead and grab this with my one hand and hold it out to the side here. Peter's glorious meter for all of you to see. And of course, we're wondering, well, where is Peter going to be this week? And he's like, oh, I'm over here. And you're like, that's not where you're supposed to be, Peter. And he's like, oh, I'm over here. And you're like, yeah, well, I know, Peter. You're supposed to get in the slot. All right, so here comes Peter, and he slides in the slot. Now, of course, last week, he was perched up on top of the dumpster, looking like he was ready to jump towards the fireball, and he is absolutely, wait, what is that? Wait. You're getting lonely. You're getting lonely on your meter. Your meter is getting lonely. You want to invite a friend to play with your meter with you. I don't. I am not that friend. Oh, wait. You brought them here? They're here. Wait. Hold up. Oh, look who it is! It's old Linkowitz himself, holding up 2 fingers for the 2 victories he's had, where Peter has leaped out of the dumpster. Our friend, and of course I got to bring him out and put him in a different angle. He is diving into the dumpster as he chases Jeff's record. Team Linkowitz, Adam Swart, look out, liar, your whatever's left of your hair is on fire. Holy cow, what a turn of events. 2 individuals playing together with Peter's meter. Woo! All right, well, that'll about does it for the show. Let's get the stud, the dud. I don't really have anyone to add to the list this week. And then we'll talk week 10, and we'll get up out of here. Stud of the week, Brock Bowers. Like I said earlier, 5th highest point total for a tight end in league history, 32 points. Dud of the week, Roma Dunze, 9.7 points. I'm also dud of the week, Jahmyr Gibbs, 1.5 points. He averaged 12.8. Could he use those points this week, Jahmyr? I hope you figure it out soon, because the playoffs, and I hope to be in them, are coming sooner than later. All right, as we head down the stretch, the last 5 games of the regular season, week 10, here we go. Woo! We got a hot one on top of the charts. The Pack Attack coming in at 6-3, taking on Make America Great Again at 6-3 in the battle for first in the South. Team Dickweed coming in at 5-4, taking on, looking to get after, give the business to, and really dive face first into my hotspot, coming in at 3-6. Mixing Cocktails coming in at 6-3, taking on the aforementioned Team Linkowitz, who is chasing terribleness at 2-7. I may suck at fantasy football, but at least I got my keepers in, coming in at 5-4, taking on the Valhalla Vandals at 4-5. And lastly, a big one, the Hulkamaniacs coming in at 4-5, taking on the Radioactive Monkeys at 4-5. Winner of this game is on the inside looking out. Loser of this game is starting to wonder if they have blown their chance. I guess we'll have to wait and see. That's why we play the games. Thanks for tuning in. But until next time, peace. Swartz playing with Peter's meter. That's pretty awesome. What is this? Oh. Is it fan mail that I missed? Or? I hear you might be looking for an individual that could be dead. All you have to do is find him, is say Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. That's strange.